This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/get started. That's GREENLIGHT.com/get started.
And the one where she combs the windscreen.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Yeah. Amazing.
And when she leans in and she's like, back to front. Oh, I got chills. Amazing.
Come on, Cecil, let me out.
Nope. This week is Biosphere 2, and we're conducting an experiment on how well a solitary person can survive in a hermetically sealed studio space. Not happening, man.
But I don't want to.
Look, you went in there on your own fucking free will, man.
Because you had a sign on the door that said Best Friends Retreat.
Well, now you're in there with all your best friends.
Oh.
Hey, Cecil, what's going on here?
You need any more exposition than what I just said, or no?
No,
I guess
you're right.
not.
Guess not.
Okay, all right.
But isn't Eli going to die in there?
Yeah, exactly. What am I going to eat? All that's in here is shiny metal cylinders.
Those are cans of food, Eli.
What's in it?
It's tofu.
Ooh.
Where'd you get canned tofu, man?
Shh, it's dog food. Don't say anything. Don't say anything.
What am I supposed to do in here?
Well, I left a length of rope and a stool.
Sweet.
You realize he's probably not going to kill himself. He's probably going to use that to...
Further the patriarchy.
Yeah.
Oh, that hadn't occurred to me. I'll get the paper towels ready.
Yeah, I'm going to fire up the power washer.
It's good.
Hello and welcome to Citation Needed, podcast where we choose a subject, read a single article about it on Wikipedia, and pretend we're experts, because this is the internet, and that's how it works now. I'm Heath, and I'll be hosting this very special episode 50 spectacular. Get excited.
He's hyping.
Seriously,
hyping up the
everybody get
audience.
excited. Fucking do it.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Ooh, guys, get excited.
Show of hands out there for everybody excited for the 50th episode.
Who's drinking tonight?
All right. When I say get, you say excited. Stupid. Moving on. So, unfortunately, we could not get Pauly Shore and Stephen Baldwin to be on the show, but don't worry, we got the next best thing. First up, we have a person who switched out oxygen for tar and rage, and another who switched it out for soy and crippling fear. Please welcome Noah and Eli.
Thank you, sir. That oxygen shit is flammable, way overrated.
To be fair, all the soy prevents me from being an alpha on Reddit, which, based on my observation, would mean gaining 100 pounds and never having sex. Not really sure.
Okay.
They're grasping the wolf metaphor they're going for there on the Reddit boards.
A lot of big dogs. Three
Personal
wolves,
attack?
they fit on one T-shirt. It's a whole thing. Look it up.
A lot of pugs on Reddit.
That's for sure.
And also joining us tonight are two men who deal with bloated, over-budget, failed ecosystems that take years to complete every time they order a pizza. Tom and Cecil.
It's the only time anything I'm intimately involved in takes a long time for completion, so I'm proud of it. There's this weird chicken and egg feel to getting a pizza here. Either you're killing the earth with the order, or you're simply waiting for the earth to end for it to be delivered. It's like I'm not sure.
All right, so before we get going, we'd like to give another huge thanks to all our patrons. You guys are the best, and it's awesome how you never change. You guys became a larger group. We'd have to start worrying about, having money, and that's like a whole thing. So if you're not a patron and you're listening, you got a bunch of money you want to give us, we're very sorry, we cannot take it. Maybe maybe if you whitewash the fence at our studio, but technically nobody's allowed to touch it. So shouldn't even be talking about this. Forget I even said anything. We are not accepting money. And if you'd like to give us money, be sure to stick around till the end of the show, and we'll tell you exactly where to go to give us money, which we are
Sorry, Heath.
taking.
We have listeners who tweet us on a regular basis to ask if we've done an episode about something they could Google. Yes, you can give us money. There's a website. It's called patreon.com/citationpod, and we'd like it very much. And we did review God's Not Dead. You have to Google the show name and then the movie, and it always comes up. Every time.
All right, with that out of the way, Cecil, what person, place, thing, concept, phenomenon, or event are we going to be talking about today?
Well, today we're going to be skipping right over Biosphere 1 and Biosphere 1.5 to talk about Biosphere 2.
And Noah, are you ready to educate us?
I am hermetically sealed as always, sir.
Okay. So,
Don't know that that's good.
So, first question. Why did you pick a Pauly Shore and Stephen Baldwin movie as the topic?
No, it was based on a true story, that movie. This is the true story. So, no, I was going back and forth on a couple of topics. So I read the Wikipedia articles on all of them. And what put me over the edge of the story wasn't how funny it was. It is funny, but what put me over was how funny the fucking Wikipedia article was. Okay, so somebody involved with the Biosphere experiment who thinks the press has done a great disservice to their noble efforts has made it their life mission to make sure the Wikipedia article also includes their side of the story. So for like the first half of the article, it's just arguing with itself. The second sentence in every paragraph is "nuh-uh," but and then at a certain point, all the objective editors just give up, and it turns into a series of and another things about how the scientific community just doesn't understand them.
So it's my blog, the Wikipedia article.
All right, no, it has citations. So to be clear, I relied on multiple sources for this essay. I'm not going to vouch for the objectivity of the one on Wikipedia, but I do recommend reading it because it's fucking hilarious.
Okay. Duly noted. So what was Biosphere 2?
Okay, it was a hilariously stupid waste of money masquerading as scientific research and not fooling anyone. The idea was to create a facility that would house a self-sustaining ecosystem, then lock a group inside for 2 years to see if they could survive without any outside supplies.
All right. I'm going to save everybody a lot of time. No. I'm going to say
No.
I think it's no.
You are correct. Spoiler alert.
So, okay.
And on to the questions. Are you ready for your questions?
Yeah. Speaking of which, why would you do that?
That's an important one. Apparently, they wanted to answer the age-old question: if a reality show happens in the desert and nobody's around to film it, does it make a sound?
Well, the answer to that, Noah, is yes. And if you're wondering, it makes the sound of time-lapsed maggots on a corpse. That's the sound it makes. 9 Inch Nails video.
You've been checking out those ASMR videos I told you about, Cecil. So fun, right? Oh, whispering maggots.
It makes sense. I mean, like, if a reality show happens and nobody calls it in time, we elected president. So, yeah, maggots.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Oh.
All right, so I want to be super clear. This was not science.
If I had a nickel.
This was not planned in a lab or over lunch at a university. This was dreamed up by a bunch of hippies in a theater recital group over a bong hit.
I love it.
Yes. I don't know about the bong hit, but it was a theater recital group. And while they did ultimately create a facility where any number of important ecological studies could be conducted, instead of doing any of those studies, they locked a bunch of hippies in it for 2 years.
You know, I started to write a less hippies in the world joke, but now that the Nazis are back, those bon mots have lost a bit of their je ne sais quoi. You know what I'm saying? I miss the hippies, is what I'm saying.
I'm just trying to imagine the smell of like a giant snow globe full of hippies. And instead, my brain is just preemptively shutting down that sense. Like, it doesn't do it anymore.
Okay, so how did a bunch of hippies finance a giant operation like that?
Well, it turns out that dumb people are allowed to have money, too.
That's a mistake.
Their dumb person was a well-meaning but scientifically illiterate dude by the name of Edward P. Bass.
Ah, so you could say this article is all about that bass.
Oh, that pun gave me no trouble. No trouble at all.
So apparently Bass... Shit tits.
Somebody's got to do it.
He inherited a multi-billion-dollar oil fortune from his family, apparently, and he used the inheritance to fund ecological causes, just not wisely.
Yeah, obviously. It's like, here, son, use this money well. I'm going to use it to fight entropy. Okay. Maybe don't spend it on fighting the only universal constant. And then I'll stop death.
Well,
all right.
Okay, how would you spend it? Because to be fair, like if I inherited billions of dollars, I'd use it to build a real life Thunderdome filled with hippies.
Yeah.
Like, why?
They're cheap. You could buy a lot of hippies.
Yeah, no, you could.
It's like penny slots.
Yeah, you just fucking get. All you need is one of those T-shirt guns that shoots dime bags out. You're like the Pied Piper,
That's,
man.
I'm still going with the thing where Heath has to bite off your finger, though. That's my favorite.
Well, Cecil's thing was my campus job. It was actually pretty sweet.
Right now. All right, so these hippies, they get a bunch of money. They buy some land in the Arizona desert, and in 1986, they start construction on the facility. Over the next 5 years, they pour over $200 million into creating this massive habitat.
Okay. Better use of money. Build a time machine or just buy DeLoreans until you get one that time travels. Go back to 1985. Tell yourself, no. You saved a lot of money.
It sounds like a lot of money, man, but like those human-sized tunnels and those hamster wheels, those are expensive. Also, I believe that's pronounced Habitrail.
Yeah.
By the way, you're getting that.
All right, but if they'd done that, at least we'd have some entertaining video from it, right? But no, instead they did this dumb shit. Okay, so there's a human habitat. Behind that, there's the agroforestry. They needed a smart-sounding word for that. That's where they were going to grow their food.
What other type of forestry?
Yeah, right.
The non-agro forestry? What the fuck does that mean?
So there were also 5 connected modules meant to mimic different ecological systems. These biomes, as they called them, included a rainforest, a savanna, an ocean, a marsh, and a desert. And of course, they christened the whole thing Biosphere 2 because the Earth is Biosphere 1.
I killed myself.
And there's no Biosphere 3. It's actually called Biosphere Infinite and takes place in a cloud city with racists. So it's totally different.
Yeah, and the Mormons leased it for level 3 of their heavens, right?
It's pretty cool. It's just like hook shot, Lamanite, hook shot, Lamanite.
Now, I should say the scientific community largely dismissed this project early on as a publicity stunt, or at best a scientific crapshoot, but the media fucking loved it. Right, like long before the mission began, the national media had deemed Biosphere like the last great hope for humankind. It was going to save us from ecological Armageddon. It was going to take us to Mars. There was nothing it couldn't do.
Yeah, and then some idiot voted Elon Musk off the island. That's why I hated that season. That season sucked.
Seriously, that guy's going to invent like cold fusion. Somebody's going to yell nerd, stick his head on a pike like Piggy in Lord of the Flies, and we're not going to get cold fusion.
Yeah, what he's going to do is get his shit packed in by Japan because he's playing with flamethrowers on Twitter is what he's going to do.
I don't give a shit what he does as long as he launches luxury goods into space. Fuck you, poor people.
He needed the weight. It's not
The
about
weight test. It's a weight.
people.
It's the only thing that weighed anything.
I tied all of
Nothing
my
else weighs
income.
Yeah,
stuff.
nothing else
had
weighs
sand?
stuff.
I love
Come
that.
on.
I can't think of anything else that weighed anything.
Like,
He
That
likes
doesn't
retweets.
cost $100,000 or whatever.
Yeah, no, that was
Gravel
what made
nut.
that rocket launch expensive was the car. So the media, they tracked the construction closely as they finished up the facility and started stocking it with the 3,800 species of plants and animals that were going to make up their closed ecological system. By 1991, it was ready for its first manned mission. All right, so the plan here was to lock 8 people inside for a 2-year period and see if they could survive on a self-sustaining environment with no supplies from the outside.
Nope.
Wait. What if they can't? Like they just die?
they die with their face pressed up against the glass.
They just slide down real slow.
Oh, man.
No, you said you were going to try. It's like my mom at swim class.
They're breathing condensation onto the glass, like help with their fingers. Just like
I don't know what plan means, honey. Get back in the pool.
Now, the good news here is we're going to find out the answer to that question there, Tom, because they can't. So, and if you want to look at why, okay, the only thing you have to look at is the goddamn team that they assembled. Of the 8 people who were going to populate this first mission, only one was a scientist, and even he was a doctor with some pretty wooey, like, extending lifespan through diet credentials.
I don't even understand this criticism. Like, what do you need scientists in the dome for if you just want to see if they're going to survive? Like, I'd fill this thing with Bear Grylls and Survivor Man. Stuff that fucking thing with ringers.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is, surviving should have been pretty fucking simple, right? Like, that should have been the easy part. But they also didn't bring any Bear Grylls or Survivor Mans. Now, the Wikipedia article points out that in addition to that dude, another dude had a master's degree in engineering, but like 7 of the 8 of them had no experience in doing actual science. They had no botanist, no ecologist, no biologist, no zoologist. Also, nobody with any expertise in farming. Kind of important. In fact, it seems like the primary qualifications for this team were A, being part of the theater troupe the dude who came up with this thing led.
Okay, before we lock ourselves in this bubble, can we get a word from the audience? Oxygen. Okay, I heard oxygen. And we're locked in. Go.
There you go. And the only other qualification apparently was loving the earth so much.
Okay, calling this now. They open it up in 2 years, and there's 8 skeletons that reek of patchouli. I'm calling it.
No, that's close. That's close.
Okay, all right. Find 7 skeletons that reek of patchouli and one guy who's not vegan anymore.
Closer still. All right, so eventually the fateful day arrives. The media's going nuts. The eco-knots or whatever the hell you call them are all over the morning news. They're wearing these weird blue, like, no, look, we're totally legit jumpsuits, like they're fucking going to space. And then they have this impossibly pompous ceremony where they compare themselves to Da Vinci, Galileo, the Wright brothers, and the biblical Noah.
One time I got turned around at the mall, but I totally found my way to my car. I'm pretty much Magellan. So
pretty much,
I
though,
got
yeah.
an award. Yeah.
Just Magellan walking around a marina like, we were in J15. What the fuck? I'm gonna rail that Filipino kid. Where's Enrique?
See, now the mall is where you want the queer of Magellan. Gotta listen to all the shows.
Yeah, all this, please. No, it's okay. Cecil edits around some of the problems.
Unless you didn't hear that
So
joke,
then-
in which case, joke.
Then, like in any good scientific experiment, after this ceremony, they had a Tibetan Buddhist monk say a sunrise prayer for their success.
What?
And then they had 2 Native Americans in full feathered regalia guide them to the door of the facility and lock them in.
I love that so much. I feel like those Indian dudes were only too happy to lock a bunch of fucking stupid white people in a massive greenhouse in the desert. Like,
right.
enjoy living in this easy bake oven, whitey.
Okay, next spoiler alert. When they open this thing and find 8 skeletons, one of those Indians is going to have a single tear roll down the side of the street. But it's going to be from the patchouli stench.
Yeah, well,
That's
right.
going to be what makes him do it.
Okay, hashtag protect the sacred, guys, okay?
All right, so spirits were high at first, of course. Jane Pointer, one of the 8 participants, was quoted in a New York Times article right before the experiment saying, "You're going to have to drag me out in 2 years." And it turns out that would only be because she was basically a patchouli-scented skeleton by then.
Okay, it's way funnier for me if this just happens to dudes. I don't know why. I like it better when it's just dudes.
No, I don't know, man. I'm an equal opportunity when it comes to Schadenfreude. Like, fuck them all.
I mean, yeah, same here. Okay, so now before we get to the shit that goes horribly wrong, I want to be super clear on just how asking for it these idiots are. Again, they're not scientists.
What were they wearing? Blue jumpsuits. They were wearing blue jumpsuits and they were asking for it.
Yeah. So, okay. Again, they're not scientists. This is a scientific endeavor. When they tried to science, they didn't know how to do it, so they didn't take accurate enough measurements to make it useful for real science. Not only that, but they decided that in their biosphere, they weren't going to have hierarchies and leaders. They were going to make all the decisions together as a team.
Fantastic.
Do they have a podcast?
So basically Occupy Wall Street inside a giant gas chamber.
Yes.
So did they destroy capitalism, end global warming, and get us to Mars, or not?
Not yet. It took less than a month for the experiment to officially fail. So a 2-year experiment. Pointer, who bragged about needing to be dragged out, actually was dragged out about a month in when she lopped off a piece of one of her fingers. She was taken out of the sealed environment for surgery, and then they brought her back in about a week later. And
Idiot.
In addition, though, she brought extra supplies with her when she came back in. They cheated, and they didn't even try to hide that fact.
What extra supplies? Was she like keistering cigarettes and meth? What did she bring in?
She just comes in. She's like, "Whoops, guys! Accidentally left the door open. This whole pallet of food followed me home. Can I keep it? Can I keep it, Mom?"
Cecil, I wish you wouldn't refer to Tom like that.
Nobody wants to keep me. Don't worry. It's fine.
All right, so the media, to their credit, called bullshit pretty quick. By February, less than 6 months into the experiment, a large portion of the scientific advisory committee resigned from the experiment, leading Time magazine to write, quote, "Now, the veneer of credibility, already bruised by allegations of tamper-prone data, secret food caches, and smuggled supplies, has cracked. The 2-year experiment in self-sufficiency is starting to look less like science and more like a $150 million stunt." End quote.
And we saved those for space exploration. Thank you very much.
This is why people tweet mean shit about your dog.
No, you sicked him on me.
All right.
Sick him on you.
So one of the first disasters they noticed was the rapidly depleting oxygen supply. So within months...
they noticed that, huh?
Yeah, it jumps right out at you eventually. All right, so within months...
You guys notice how math isn't green anymore?
You guys know how, like, when you ejaculate, you're ejaculating a whole lot? Why is that?
I'm exhausted, but I'm coming so hard. Worth it. Totally worth it.
He's so pissed.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
Wait, we didn't pack any food, but these ASMR videos are fucking killer.
All right, so within months of the door locking, they started noticing a precipitous drop in oxygen level. By 6 months in, the sphere had the same oxygen level as like a mountain above the snow line. So they did the math and they realized that by the end of the experiment, they'd all have long died and they might not even have enough atmosphere left to carry the patchouli smell.
That's when they did the math? Like,
Yeah.
How did they not focus on oxygen for this? They're about to get locked inside an airtight bubble. And it's like, okay, wallet, keys, Cliff Bar. Great, we're good. We're good. Click. Oxygen. Fuck.
Oh, sure. Now a Cliff Bar is enough.
So apparently they had done the math. They fucked it up, though, because they're not scientists and don't know what the fuck they're doing. The problem stemmed from soil microbes throwing off more carbon dioxide than they expected. And then the bare concrete surfaces were soaking up the carbon dioxide to make calcium carbonate well before the plants could get it and turn it back into oxygen. Of course, again, they weren't scientists, so they didn't know that. That wouldn't be figured out until years later when the scientists came in. But one way or the other, they knew that they were slowly suffocating.
Like David Carradine.
Okay. Worth it. Just a joke. Worth it. Just a joke.
Okay, now hang on. I get not having scientists get sealed up inside of it, but they didn't even like borrow one for a little while when they were building it. Like ahead of so you don't have to seal up the building part.
No, you actually have to seal one up because science happens the whole fucking time, apparently. Yeah. No, they did have a few scientists come in and they were all just like, this is dumb. And then they left. So no, eventually they would solve this problem, by the way, by having oxygen pumped into the facility in violation of the whole fucking point of it. But in a worst of both worlds scenario, they waited 18 months to do it. So by then, everybody's like oxygen deprived as fuck.
Oh my God. So wait a minute. Because I feel like the answer to the original question right now is it's just no. Like that's the answer. So why not?
Yes.
Why not just call that the answer? What's the new question? Can we do it? No, we can't.
Day 5, they're all walking around in scuba gear. Hey, this is not going well. How many of these tanks are left? 10? 10. We should have brought a math guy.
Boo, nerd. I need an occupation and a location. Okay. I dreamed a dream of days gone.
But apparently not being able to breathe wasn't the only problem. They were also running critically low on food almost immediately. Over the first year, they lost an average of more than 15% of their pre-experiment weight. A lot of the food they intended to grow wasn't viable in the environment. So before long, they're eating their seed stock. They had a shit ton of hens that were supposed to be a continuing source of eggs, but pretty soon they didn't want to share their food with chickens, so they ate those motherfuckers. They also had some pigs that were just supposed to be part of one of the ecosystems. They ate those motherfuckers.
I do so like green eggs and ham.
As it turns out.
See, this is what happens when you don't have a Noah and a Cecil, people. We're giving you gold here on Citation Needed. Giving you gold.
Wait, I'm confused again. The pigs weren't there as food. They were just there as part of an ecosystem. Because that's how they fit into the ecosystem. They're food. That's the only thing they are.
Wrong. Watch Earthlings. Watch Earthlings. It's on YouTube. It's free.
So, all right, of course,
No.
the
Don't
animals.
do that. Agree.
So, of course, the animals they slaughtered weren't the only ones that died. Pretty much all the vertebrates.
Please say all these people
and
died.
No. Unfortunately, no. It was the innocent animals that they put in there. But no,
Okay.
all the vertebrates except them, all the pollinating insects, those all died off. Some animals did thrive, of course. Most notably, cockroaches.
You throw in a potato, you got yourself a stew.
Yeah. Also, apparently, now the cockroaches they brought on purpose because they're fucking idiots, but also because they were fucking idiots. When they sealed the thing up, they accidentally sealed in a few ants from a crazy invasive species that's actually called crazy ants.
That's really?
Yeah, crazy ants. So the ants overran the entire facility within a few months.
Like, hey, is this ant supposed to be in here? And then the alien baby pops out of that guy's chest. And fuck.
Some other dude's like, catch it, need it.
Yeah, right, exactly. I'll eat around the acid.
That's wasted calories.
But of course, the disaster it's probably best remembered for was the breakdown in group psychology. Within a few months, the crew broke down into factions, started hating each other's guts.
Yeah, like atheist podcasters.
No.
Yeah.
The world knew about these guys.
Yeah, exactly.
okay,
That's
And we don't have jumpsuits. That's right. You're right.
Speak for
You're right.
yourself.
I was going to say.
All right, so a lot of this stuff played out publicly, and there again is the difference with the podcasters. Just one quick example: when they started munching on the seed stock, one of the crew members told the press, and then somebody else tried to get her fired, so they fired her, but then she refused to leave because what the fuck are they going to do?
They open the doors at the end. Everybody's got like war paint.
Yeah.
One lady's chained up naked. Hey, you guys, you about to make a burnt offering to Cthulhu? No.
Not a burnt offering, no, a medium rare offering. We're not uncivilized. Fuck you.
Exactly.
Ketchup.
Now, reports conflict, of course, but as near as I can tell, the group split into two factions. One group agreed with Tom, and they were like, look, obviously we failed at the whole sealing ourselves off thing. Why not just stabilize this shit and do science? And the other group was like, I will lick condensation off the windows and eat cockroach droppings if I have to, damn it. We will survive.
All right. So I guess my biggest question at this point would be, how are there still enough fuck ups to fill the second half of the show? Are there still more?
Oh, no, yeah, there was a whole second mission, and this one involves Steve Bannon.
Shut the fuck up.
No.
Really?
Steve Bannon?
That Steve Bannon, yes.
All right. Well, with my conundrum swept away in 3 quick syllables, we'll take a quick break and cue the music for Apropos of Nothing.
Eli, I can't believe he'll let me talk me into this.
Come on, Cecil, you heard Noah. The media went crazy for Biosphere 2. When people hear we locked the entire Citation Needed cast into Biosphere 3, people are sure to listen to the podcast.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, they're not finding it now.
And then the dollop is going to call us and they'll be like, oh, please do a show with us. And we'll be like, I'll think about it.
Hey, Eli, where's all the food and stuff that we're going to...
Oh, it's all around us, Noah. The trees shall be our milk mothers and the ground shall be our other milk mother.
Okay, yeah, I thought so. I'm leaving.
No, come on, Noah. It's just like camping. You love camping.
Eli, I eat when I camp. Also, camping, I hike. Camping, hiking, different. That's not the same thing. You know that, right?
I do not know that.
yeah, I'm kind of with Noah on this one. I just don't.
Come on, Cecil. Think about the jogging space in here, right? Just jogging around.
Look, I went on one run.
Hey, guys. Where's all the cooking stuff? I'm going to make my breakfast of 84 pieces of bacon.
84 pieces of bacon?
Yeah. Haley cut my dosage in half. She has to squeeze my heart while I sleep to keep me alive. So
I heard somebody say bacon.
Okay, Tom, Heath, there is no bacon here in Biosphere 3.
What?
Boo.
no bacon.
Yeah, Tom, I thought this wouldn't just be an experiment in nature, but an experiment for all of us in plant-based lifestyle.
I am so out. Holy fuck.
I was already that, but I'm more.
Okay, but before
now.
all of you think of quitting, I hermetically sealed the biosphere, so there is no way for any of us to possibly... Or Tom could punch through the wall.
Two bacon!
Right behind you, bro.
Yeah, I'm coming too.
Oh, I'm coming. Ruined my biodome.
Nice. Heath's Biosphere. Heathosphere.
Okay, brothers and sisters, now that our experiment has begun, let's take a moment to just embrace what a beautiful piece of history we're about to create together. Yeah,
Sweet.
Okay, everybody. Food's running a little on the low side. I know we can do this together, but I put a chore board up by the big tree, so maybe we could buckle down.
Oh, man.
That's
so
do
hard.
work.
No, man.
Okay, guys, we need to cut this shit out. I got a 3 p.m. status report from Linda on our projected JWI. If it's lower than 20%, everybody has to work through lunch, okay?
Fuck this. No.
Christmas.
Practicality. Curing hippies since 1979.
And we're back. When we last left our heroes, they were starving and oxygen deprived in a roach-infested anthill surrounded by the bones of all their farm animals.
Yep.
It gets worse? What goes wrong from here?
Yeah, the next year of their lives, basically. Technically, the mission does make it through the 2 years, in the sense that 2 years later, they did open the door and leave. I mean, like, by then, they'd pumped in oxygen, they'd left for medical treatment, they'd killed everything they could, they'd fucked up the atmosphere, devoured their seed stock, and there were a lot of rumors that they also brought in a lot of food before it was all over, too. So
Made it like $500 for passing go. Like, they just cheated so many times. It doesn't even count. But you see, this is what I'm saying, though. The snap challenge is not that hard.
Oh,
It's not like you run out of seeds, you eat your vagina egg. You're fine. Apparently, they had Blue Apron, too. They're just cheating all over the place.
Well, it was originally White Apron, but it ran out of oxygen. So.
They tried Hello Fresh Air.
it's a nice curated oxygen. You keep the oxygen you want, send everything else back. Oh, geez. Oh, I love this little detail, too. Joyner, the chick who bragged at the beginning about how they're going to have to drag her out 2 years later. She wrote a book about the experience. In it, she's talking about the very end where they're all lined up to leave and the cameras are all lined up to see their less than triumphant exodus. And she recalls, quote, "Come on, people," I muttered to myself. "I signed up for 2 years, not 2 years and a minute," end quote.
Yeah, it says that in Melania Trump's prenup, too.
Till glorious sudden cardiac arrest do we part.
Yeah. Whole nation jumped in on that one. All right, so the experiment was universally recognized as a failure by the press, although the Wikipedia article would beg to differ. I love, this is my favorite moment in the entire Wikipedia article. The praise and criticism section starts off, quote, "One view of Biosphere was that it was the, quote, internal quote, the most exciting scientific project to be undertaken in the U.S. since President John F. Kennedy launched us towards the moon," end internal quote.
Really?
Others called it, internal quote, "new age drivel masquerading as science," end all the quotes. Now, I want to point out that first quote comes from a Discovery magazine article 4 years before the experiment started. The second one came from the journal Ecology while it was underway. So,
Wait, new age dribble masquerading as a science. I think Gwyneth Paltrow has that tattooed on her face.
I mean, to be fair, my Wikipedia has the same problem. It's a quote from my mom and then a quote from my mom when she's in a less generous mood. I get it. It's lots of sources.
I think we're being a little harsh here, guys. I mean, they may have failed in every possible respect, but if we can inspire just one more Pauly Shore movie, I think we can say we're all winners.
That really is the best thing that came out of this.
Were we going to stop at Encino Man?
Yeah.
We have more in us than that.
Absolutely.
All right, so after the first mission ended, Edward Bass, the billionaire that funded it, commissioned a study to find out what went wrong. The report was just a really verbose way of saying everything, dude. But it included these specific criticisms. They criticized their lack of a well-developed written scientific plan, their ad hoc mix of scientific initiatives of varying quality, and possible embellishment of data.
Yeah. Also, tribal warfare.
Yeah, sharpening
and,
a stick on both ends.
Yeah, just one other small thing, not being able to breathe.
I like the possible embellishment of data. Hey, Larry,
Right?
why does it say in here you have a 9-inch cock?
But despite the abject failure of the first go, Bass decided to give it another try. So he assembled a new team. This time he made sure one of them was in fucking charge. And they set out with a far less ambitious goal of 10 months starting on March 6th of 1994. And for nearly 4 weeks, nothing went to shit.
The Eli Bosnick story.
Go to a doctor. So many times we have to tell you go to a doctor.
So early on in this, Bass was sick and tired of hemorrhaging money with this thing, and he wasn't happy with the on-site management. In fact, he was so angry at them that in his effort to oust him, he also sent federal marshals to serve them with restraining orders. Now, I should say it's really hard to pick through the conflicting accounts here and develop a cohesive narrative, but there was definitely some kind of like hippies fighting the corporate powers versus billionaire that already sunk over $200 million into this shit and has nothing to show for it, but media snark dynamic here.
Seems like there's only one way to settle this. Big ski race. Please tell me they had a big ski race.
I'm just glad that we settled the question that when we're finally on Mars, we can still have restraining orders, because there's some people I don't want to be within 2 planets of. I'm just saying.
Of all the people in the world to bring over to take over from the ousted management, Edward Bass hires, drum roll please, Steve Bannon.
Shut the fuck up.
And by the way, because of this, you can actually go, because he did this job, you can go back and see video of him on C-SPAN after the takeover talking about all the dangers of global warming he was going to fix.
It's amazing. And Bannon was only like 40 years old at this point, but already looked like every lunch lady combined.
God, he does. Oh, God, that's perfect.
To be fair, watching The Last Hope of Humanity fail is a great origin story for Steve Bannon. You've got to admit, it makes more sense.
Anyway, so Bannon gets
Nobody
involved.
knows what it's like to be a bad man.
Oh, God.
All right, so Bannon gets involved. The hippie core of this thing freaks the fuck out. You need a minute? I'll give you a minute. He needs a minute. So apparently the hippies have some very real concerns that if there were any efforts to cut costs on the operation, that would endanger the crew members inside.
Hold the fuck on. Wait a minute. If this thing is self-sustaining, what are the new costs involved?
Well,
That's not how self-sustaining works. You
You know what? I haven't mentioned this, Tom, but they were getting outside power the whole time. That's how self-sustaining they were. Yeah.
That's not self.
No, it really is
Nonsense. It's just a
That's
glass.
like stealing cable from your
house.
neighbors.
All right.
Yeah, right.
TV is free when you steal it. So are all the things that you steal. Okay.
So also, one of the original crew members, Abigail Alling, who went by the name Gaia by now, submitted a 5-page.
Fuck you.
Yeah, well,
Gaia?
It gets worse. So she submitted a 5-page report to Bannon detailing all the concerns she had about on-site safety. Now, Bannon admitted in a later court proceeding that his response to this was threatening to, quote, shove it down her fucking throat.
That's about right.
Oh, man, that's like so Steve. Am I right?
I can't help but just kind of love that Steve Bannon literally threatened to mouth rape Mother Earth with her own complaints about safety.
Yeah, sorry. He destroyed the hope of humanity.
Yeah.
Origin story not yet discovered, guys. Origin story not yet discovered.
It probably has something to do with mouth raping Mother Earth in a different sense, but yeah. So Abigail, I'm sorry. So Gaia
Bigot.
decided.
What's her pronoun? Is it planet? Like what is it?
Planet X.
So she decided to do something about it. She teamed up with another of the original crew members, dude by the name of Mark Van Thillo, who now went by the name Laser.
Oh my God!
I'm not
I love
making
this.
any of this shit.
Are these American gladiators?
Yeah, right.
Nope, man.
I'm going to spray hairspray every time you say those names. I'm going to empty a whole can.
So Gaia and Laser
Jesus Christ.
set out to save their green goddess Wonderland from the evil corporate takeover.
So they set up a tennis ball cannon and a cargo net to defend their little fort.
So Gaia and Laser
Still spraying.
fly out to Arizona and on April 5th. And not even a month into the second mission, they sabotage it all to shit. They open all the doors that they can. They smash out a few windows. Then they go inside and they tell all the crew members that they've come to rescue them. And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? We're just in the thing. And would you leave, please?
just standing outside the dome with a boombox playing "Baby, Come Back."
Yeah, right.
No, leave. Grand gestures never work in real life. Idiots, go away.
What I really want to see is the restraining orders with Gaia and Laser written on them. Can you imagine the county clerk just rolled his fucking eyes right out of his head when he was writing them up?
Kim Davis is like, fuck this, I'm moving to Kentucky. Yeah. So Alling, that's Gaia, would later defend herself by saying that she, quote, yeah, no, it's Abigail. So she later defended herself by saying, quote, I considered the biosphere to be in an emergency state. In no way was it sabotage. It was my responsibility. End quote.
Fun fact, Gaia would later change her name to George Papadopoulos.
By the way, the guy leading the experiment was married to one of the ousted managers. So a few days later, he just left. Right? He's like, oh, family reasons. What? Family reasons. You fired my wife, assholes. And then a couple months later, another dude quit and they just subbed in another guy like it was a hockey game or something. So by now they're not even fucking trying.
Wait, is anybody even watching this reality show anymore? Like, do they have an American Ninja course somewhere inside of it that nobody's told us about?
There's just like Steve Bannon just leaving shitty Post-it notes everywhere. We are not heating the outside. Keep this door closed. Keep it closed. It's in all caps.
We're going to get rid of the microwave if nobody cleans it. Cockroaches everywhere.
So by June 1st, when Bannon and company had failed to stem the financial bleeding, the ownership and management company dissolved.
Wait. How is this supposed to make money? I'm very confused about this.
It was supposed to get like academic grants and shit when they showed that they could do it or whatever. So it wasn't supposed to make money, but there was a limit to how much it was supposed to lose. It did not meet that limit. So the experiment limped along for a few more months under interim management, but it was ended prematurely on September 6th of 1994. They had the sense not to go back for a third mission, so that would mark the last time the facility was used for its intended purpose.
And now it's just another FEMA re-education camp in the desert. So boring. Such a waste.
Of course, since I mentioned Steve Bannon, I have to mention the lawsuit that precipitated his departure. So Abigail Alling eventually sued the company for her treatment at Bannon's hand and was awarded $600,000. Although she had to pay $40,089 of that back to the company for the damage that her and Laser caused in their little mini insurrection.
And then I'm assuming Bannon had the whole thing disassembled and flown to Arrakis, where his twin brother Baron Harkonnen could use it. What happened?
It so looks like Baron and Harkonnen.
Oh, what I wouldn't give to go Jabbar Steve Bannon.
Now, that was not the only lawsuit that stemmed from the whole fiasco, of course.
He'd probably be fine. He'd be like, oh, that was
right. Yeah.
decent. That's fun.
So also Margaret Augustine, the company's original CEO, she sued Bass for breach of contract. Then in a countersuit, he accused her of funneling almost $1 million of the project's money into her personal coffers. And then also she accused Steve Bannon of a laundry list of harassment against female employees, including him saying he wanted to fire her because she was, quote, a woman doing a man's job.
Yeah, and he would also jealously say that to a Russian pea prostitute later. So, yeah.
So I got perfectly good pee, man.
It was the Jews.
It's the juice.
It's the Jews peeing on something.
Now, the facility itself was first taken over by Columbia University, who stopped sealing people up in the damn thing and started using it for science. Turns out it was pretty useful for that kind of shit. Who'd have thunk? Eventually, it was sold for $50 million, and it's mostly like a tourist trap now. But I think Arizona State still does use the main facility to do science now and then.
Hypothesis. Are people fucking stupid? Let's run the experiment again, guys. Results unclear.
I'd be able to replicate it for it to be science. No, you're right.
All right, so if you had to summarize what you've learned in one sentence, Noah, what would it be?
Steve Bannon got the taste of destroying one ecology, and now he lusts for more.
And are you ready for a quiz from the panel?
I literally don't know how one could not be ready to make up answers to this stuff. So yes, I bet Cecil gets me. I bet Cecil gets me on this.
Okay, spoilers.
All right. So the biodome turned out to be not such a great idea. What other hippie experiments failed miserably? A. Burning Man. To answer the question, is this contagious? Answer, no, but only because everyone at Burning Man already has it. B. Coachella. To answer the question, is this beat the same beat as the last beat? Answer, I fucking love you, man. I just love everyone here so much. Or C, the baby boomer generation. To answer the question, will any of this matter when we stop caring? Answer, no, and we'll stop caring sooner than any of you thought possible.
Oh, it's so very fucking C. It is so fucking C. They're like, remember all those movies that were like, hey, now we're a bunch of yuppies. It's so different than when we were hippies. No, it's not. You're a bunch of arrogant, self-centered fucks then too.
Liars. Bunch of liars.
Is it C, Tom? I think it's C.
Fuck it, it's all those fucking answers, man.
But especially C.
Okay, so obviously an experiment in destroying our faith in humanity could have been done much more quickly. What evidence could we have presented to make the whole biosphere experiment a moot point? A,
Results of the biosphere experiment.
is it A, the Harvey Weinstein marshmallow test? B, the ratings of the Big Bang Theory? C, the existence of Twitter?
Right, yeah.
Or D, the dodo bird, an adorable, trusting animal that we all killed for fun.
All right, so we didn't kill the dodo for fun. We wanted its feathers. So I'm going to go C, the existence of Twitter.
That is correct.
I thought it might be. I figured it might be.
All right, so what's the most important thing to plan for when you're being airlocked in a bubble? Is it A, air? Just shout it out if you know the answer. Whenever you're
Sign it out because you don't have air to say it. So sign it.
Okay, so
The sound waves don't carry well in that vacuum.
all right.
I'm going to go with A,
So
air.
just to repeat, A was air. A was air, or B, other.
I'm sticking with my original answer. I'm going A for air.
It was air.
I thought it might
It was air.
be.
You're a little slow, but it was
All
air.
right, last question. The montage video of Biosphere 2 is cut to what song? A, Staying Alive. B,
Not that one.
Hotel California. C, Hungry Like the Wolf. D, I gotta get out of this place. Or E, Every Breath You Take.
I think I'm going to go with E, Every Breath You Take.
Sorry, it is B, Hotel California. You can check out anytime you like.
But she did leave and come back. That's what got me.
It's like never.
Yeah.
It's like never when you're still
Okay.
alive. So.
Okay, apparently Cecil won.
Yeah,
Yay for
motherfucker.
Cecil.
Yeah. Woo, bitches. Suck it, Tom.
No. These essays look like a lot of work.
They will be too.
All right, now I'm going to toss it over to Sarah for last week's Twitter answer and this week's Twitter question.
Thanks, Heath. Last week's question was, if the cast of Citation Needed were all in porn, what would each of our porn star stage names be? The winner was Austin Dude on Twitter with this. Tom, Reckless D. Cecil, Harry P. Otter. Heath, Buddy Bear. Eli, Hanging Chad. Noah, Otto Fellatio. Sarah, Hermione Danger. Lucinda, the Poozle in a Thunderstorm. Anna, that girl who walked onto the set playing 3DS and either didn't notice or care that everyone was fucking. This week's question is, if you're getting locked in Biosphere 3 with the guys, what are you going to bring with you? Just retweet or Facebook share this episode with your answer for a chance to be next week's winner. Back to you, Heath.
All right. Well, for Cecil, Noah, Eli, and Tom, I'm Heath. Thank you for hanging out with us today. We'll be back next week, and by then, Tom will be an expert on something else. Between now and then, you can hear more from Tom and Cecil on cognitive dissonance, and you can hear more from Eli, Noah, and myself on The Scathing Atheist, The Skeptocrat, and God Awful Movies. And if you'd like to help keep this show going, you can make a per-episode donation at patreon.com/citationpod. And if you'd like to get in touch with us, listen to past episodes, connect with us on social media, or take a look at the show notes, be sure to check out citationpod.com.
Have you guys seen Heath?
No, I haven't seen him.
No, I don't know where.
Heathosphere. Ooh, a Cliff Bar. Oh, it's the nuts and seeds.
Yeah.
Nobody likes that one.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely. And parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/getstarted. That's GREENLIGHT.com/getstarted.